Good Erev Shabbos, everybody. The Medrash Tanchuma in Parshat Mishpatim really has a fascinating comparison between one of the laws that we read about in this week's Parsha, the law of not lending on interest to a fellow Jew, and the story of Cain and Hevel. Now, on the surface, these two seem completely unrelated, and I'm not sure that any of us would have naturally made that connection. But the Medrash explains that it gives us insight into what went wrong in Cain and Hevel's relationship. They basically made a deal where Cain said to Hevel, "Look, let's split up the world. There's just two of us. I'll take, you'll take all the movables, things that the animals, anything that's movable objects. They're yours, and I'll take the land. I'll take the fields. So you got the metaltalin, the movables. I'll take the land." And his whole plan was, I'm going to get rid of Hevel from this world. Because what happened? They made this deal. And so Cain took his land, and Hevel went ahead and he took all the movables. And what happened? He said, "Hey, you and your flock over there, they're on my property." And so he ran away. Hevel ran over to the mountains, and Cain followed him over to the mountains and said, "That's my mountain. You're not allowed to be there." Until it got to the point where he basically, Vayakom Cain, he got up and he kills his brother for having violated this deal. And the Medrash then continues and says that at that point in his life, what happened to Cain? The Torah describes Navanad Tiye Ba'aretz, that Cain kind of wandered around the earth. And the Medrash says wherever he went, God kind of ended up kind of throwing something bad or evil in his way. And, until it got to the point where Cain wasn't able to sustain and exist in the world anymore. And the Medrash makes a fascinating comparison and says, Kach kol hamal ve'es chaveru beribis, that anybody who lends to their friend on interest, sof shenitzrach labrios, at the end of the day, that person is going to need the help of others. What is this Medrash trying to teach us? And I believe it's saying the following. What was Cain's big miscalculation about how he dealt with Hevel? He said, "Look, I want to do whatever I can to get rid of Hevel from this world. Because if he's in this world, he's taking some parts of this world, all the benefits of this world from me." And so he makes a deal in the Medrash's vision, or its imagery, that he makes this deal that is going to be able to push Hevel out of this world. And what ultimately happens to him? He ends up having nobody there to help him when he needs help. He was navanad, he was a nomad. He had nowhere to go. He had no one to take care of him, no one to look after him. So too the person who lends on interest to their friend who's coming to them, because they're in financial straits right now. It's not easy. They wouldn't be coming to you for a loan unless they were desperate. That's what the Torah is envisioning. And someone who uses that moment to make even more money off another person shows that we don't value that person. We don't actually see a need for them. I view this as an opportunity for myself. I'm not doing it for you. People who take the attitude and the approach that everything in this world is about themselves, like Cain did, sof shenitzrach labrios. At the end of the day, they're all going to realize that we all need each other. Everybody goes through points in their life where they need to rely on others around them. Well, that's in our families, or more often than not, even from outside our families, from friends, from community. And I think this is a really powerful message that the Medrash is sending about why is it the prohibition of interest, lending on interest, is such a severe prohibition. because it speaks to our character. And I hope that we take away from this medrash and this beautiful image that the medrash drew is to value each other, to be there truly for the other person, and not see what's in it for ourselves. And I think if we do that, if we approach halacha, so many of our laws that we're going to read about this week in Parshat Mishpatim, as a way to help others in society, to lift everybody around us up when they're struggling, then at the end of the day, when it's our time and we need other people, they will be there for us. And we will create beautiful communities, just like ours. And I hope that we always continue to be that kind of community. That's our bracha. Let's all do our part to ensure that is indeed the future for the young Israel Scarsdale and for the Jewish community all around the world. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.